I'm John Hanna for CityTV.net here in New York, and we have Deborah Shames and David Booth joining us from Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, first off, let's talk about your background. Deborah first.
Yes, I was a director of film and television. I produced over 60 programs in health, medical, and educational subjects.
And David?
I started in the world of theater as a professional actor, and then I came on after many years of doing Shakespeare and repertory work. I started working in the corporate world as a corporate spokesman. So I travel around the world doing trade shows and representing companies like Cisco and Siemens on film.
Oh, okay. Nice. Now let's talk about your book.
Yes. It took us 5 years to write the book Own the Room, Business Presentations that Persuade, Engage, and Get Results. And it's a compilation of what David and I both learned from being in the entertainment field as director and performer. And then we married that background with the latest findings in cognitive science around decision making and how to be memorable, and then added the impression management piece from the field of psychology, because that's what speakers need when they want to communicate their ideas well.
I think one of the reasons it took us that long to write it is that we were working on so many projects for clients, and at the same time, when we were training them or working on getting their messages out and working on their delivery skills, we were also learning very quickly. And so as we learned more, then we went back and kept rewriting sections of the book or adding to the book.
We had to walk the talk. It's one thing to have concepts in a book. It's another to have examples. So we took examples from our experience at TD Ameritrade, working with the VPs of institutional investing, with retail when we worked at Mattel with groups and in individuals, and then with our individual law, accounting, and insurance clients.
Okay, now let's talk about a little bit more of examples now, case studies. Can you tell us some more about what you have in your book?
Well, the book is divided up into the chapters that speakers and communicators need. So there's a chapter on team presenting skills for when our clients are going in to pitch and they have to win. They're in a beauty contest. They're down to the final three. So we give examples of how to hand off effectively, how to divide up content, how to engineer the perception that they like and work well together and respect each other. Then we have another chapter on intention, which drives everything. What do you want to achieve and how to get there? We have another chapter on client anecdotes. How do you tell a story based on what kind of work you want more of that will appeal to a new potential client?
Well, in some of our case studies, certainly we respect our clients' the need to keep them confidential, so we don't name them directly, but I know they wouldn't mind. I mean, clients of ours from Mattel are in the book because they do presentations all the time. And so we used many of those examples from people who are in the field and weekly do at least a couple of presentations.
With PowerPoint.
Yes, with PowerPoint, how we worked on not only their delivery skills, but how they designed and assembled their content for the PowerPoint, and also many of the successes that they've had under fire in very, very difficult business environments.
David brings up a good point, because in business today, John, everyone is being squeezed. The competition has never been greater. And so with companies not increasing their headcount, what they need to do is make sure that the people that they have left, the staff they have left, are very well trained and can communicate their message and their brand and their ideas successfully. So if you ask us about a specific genre, we can give you a case study or an example.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, which area in terms of...
Let's focus more on the business presentation wise.
Yes.
That'll be one area, and then I have a follow-up question with regards to press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's one case study. Barrington Associates is a very good investment banking firm on the west side in Los Angeles. They're in a partnership with Wells Fargo Bank now, but at the time Barrington was a standalone company, and they brought us in because they really wanted to do better in beauty contests, final pitches, when it was down to 3 investment banks to sell a company. And we looked at their pitch book, and it was very well researched and thought out and assembled, but absolutely unextraordinary in that they were basically doing things the way that every other investment bank was doing it. So we turned it on its head and had them not use the pitch book except as a reference piece and put them out in front of the presentation and then work with them on handoffs, team presenting skills, and looked at everything all the way down to their wardrobe so that they would be different, unique, but still be speaking with their own authentic voice of Barrington Associates. And they started to win more.
And every time a potential client says, come in and tell us a little about yourself, don't. Because what they're really saying is come in and show us how you can serve our needs. And so our entire program in terms of the Eloquy method is based on what makes you stand out, what differentiates you. Because if you do it the same way everyone else has done it, then there's no way you're going to win more, increase your hit rate.
And we had to look into that particular element of human behavior, not only from our background in entertainment of how to set yourself apart and gain the attention and buy-in of an audience, but also our experience in business, because we know that people copy each other in every field, from dress to manner to behavior to the way that they assemble their pitch. And so we really work with every single individual and every single business company that comes under our umbrella to make them
authentic
and have their own style, and their own style is completely their own.
And John, a couple of the tips for your listeners. One, speak in specifics as opposed to generalities. Paint the picture in the mind's eye of the listener. Because if we track with you, if we visualize what it is you're talking about, we stay with you. If you speak in generalities like situations, examples, problems, challenges, that doesn't mean anything. So you need to speak in specifics. The other thing is what David was talking about. You need to be novel and surprising. You need to grab our attention. Business is no different than any other form of narrative or drama. The more we pay attention because we haven't heard it before, the more effective you can be. And in business, we were often taught to leave ourselves out of it. You have to put yourself back in it, which means I statements, I believe, I've seen, I've experienced. That will give you not only more credibility, but persuade the listener to come on board to your point of view sooner.
Because you're taking responsibility.
That's a great point. Yes, instead of being third person and more distanced, a higher level, we trust and buy from other clients, other vendors, when we can see their skin in the game, their investment. And if you leave it out, you're risking losing that potential business.
Now, with regards to press conference, what are the pitfalls for a company to when they do a press conference, potential pitfalls for companies?
Well, I would say back when I mentioned Barrington Associates, the investment banking firm, the pitfall with them is that they spent all this time assembling the pitch book, and then they rehearsed sort of a bit on the plane on the way to the location. I would say that the same problem, the same weakness is with firms who are going to a press conference. They don't have a clear intention, and they haven't sat in the room and at least role-played, rehearsed, batted the ball around, thought about how it would play out.
The difficulty with a press conference is you need to speak in sound bites. 20-second sound bites. So the first thing you have to do is what David said. What is your intention? What do you want to achieve with the sound bite? How can you spin it in your favor? Second thing you need to do is pick 3 things, 3 talking points that you will get across no matter what is asked of you. Because if you have a book or if you have a product launch or if you've been in the press and it's been a negative and there's a negative connotation to your story, it's up to you to change the message. Not to get defensive over it, not to get hostile or aggressive, but instead put your best foot forward. Use self-effacing humor and be very clear with your message.
Okay, contact information. Where can people find you guys?
Eloquy, ELOQUY .biz, B-I-Z. We produce a speaker tip, quote, and word every week, and viewers can sign up for the speaker tip. It's free on the website. Our phone number in LA is 818-225-7991. And we always send out 2 trainers, a male and female, to companies across the country for a different perspective. And we have a national reach.
And the reason that we called the company and named it Eloquy is because it means in Latin to speak out. And that's our mission, and that's what we drive everyone to do.
And the name of the book, and where can people get the book? In Amazon?
Sure.
The book is called Own the Room. It's published by McGraw-Hill. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Okay. That's Deborah Shames and David Booth joining us from Los Angeles, and I'm John Hanna for CityTV.net in New York.